Hey everyone, Reverend Cedarman here. I hope you're doing well. Sorry for the lateness of the podcast this week. I was trying to get it done, but as you know, I've been working really hard at spreading the Dharma, putting every minute, every effort, every hour towards the Dharma. I hope you are too. Fulfilling that role as a Bodhisattva. Just got back from the gym, so I feel great. I hope all of you are keeping fit, both your spiritual sides as well as your physical side, as well as your emotional side, and your mind, taking care of all the aspects of kokoro or spirit. We need that in order to spread the Dharma. And as you know, this week we have some exciting news because our own Eisho, lay leader Eisho of Seattle and Kyoji Temple, is off to Spokane. One of our many missionaries off to spread the Dharma, to grow a Sangha, to help people who may not otherwise be able to practice or study Buddhism, and especially to give the liberation, the great message of the Lotus Sutra, which is liberation to all without exception. And that means all. We as Buddhists, we're looking forward to giving people, to finding, to being able to show their true potential, to growing in their lives, to changing in their lives, to overcoming addiction, to overcoming mental troubles, emotional troubles, growing as Buddhas, and working and expounding the Dharma as Bodhisattvas. And I know all of you are out there doing it, so I really appreciate all of your efforts. It inspires me. I hope mine inspires you. That's the way the Lotus Sutra works. We do it together, of one mind. Many bodies, one mind. Itai Doshin. So today I wanted to talk specifically about our lay leadership program, because it's a perfect time to talk about it, because one of the examples of the many missions that we're growing out of Enkyoji Temple is because of our leadership program. And leadership doesn't necessarily mean that one wears a special robe or wears a special wagesa, but it means a spirit. And that's the spirit of Enkyoji Network, in the idea that we have one mission, and that's to expound the Lotus Sutra and grow it in our lives. That it becomes tangible to other people, not just some spiritual doctrine, not some spiritual philosophy, and definitely not a religion in that sense. That it grows, and people, when they see us, upon meeting us, they know something is different. They can feel it. And that's really what the Lotus Sutra is all about: changing lives, changing our lives, changing the lives of others, and eventually, because as we change everyone into Buddhas, establishing world peace. That's the greatest goal of all: establishing Mount Sacred Eagle here, showing people their true Buddha natures. And it's very important that we all, as is expounded by and shown by the example of our founder Nichiren and Shonin, the idea of leadership. Because leadership is taking charge, taking responsibility. And as I say many times, Buddhism is about taking responsibility. That means taking responsibility of one's practice, one's life, not blaming others, and not, of course, dissuading others from practicing, but encouraging others. We are the great patient, encouraging, energetic bodhisattvas from underground, like that of our founder Nichiren and Shonin, who is such a great example of Buddhism in the modern age, in that he expounded it with all of his life, even at the cost of his own life, not even fearing the loss of his life. And last night we had a great Lotus Sutra study class, studying chapter 13, which we're going to get into, because encouragement for keeping the sutra. That's what being a leader is all about, and that's the mission that we've been given to the Buddha. Walking the path of the Lotus Sutra is the practice of Buddhism. Not sitting around practicing some austere practice, but getting out there, changing our life, changing the life of others, and eventually changing the entire world to be established at Mount Sacred Eagle. And the way we do that is through people taking responsibilities. We have many levels of practitioners in Enkyoji Network, and we have a big enough vehicle to fit everyone. One of the things that I'm really happy about, and one of our focuses as being a mission, is conducting and growing lay leaders. And this is in the philosophy of organic Buddhism, in the idea that we grow people from where they're at. We go to their communities. As it says in the sutra, when you hear somebody requesting this, we go to them. We don't wait for them to come to us like most practices do. We go to them. And the other thing is that we facilitate them. We encourage them. We show them it can be done, because I'll tell you something, There's a lot of people in this world who believe nothing can change. They've even given in, and I've realized this as getting older. You almost feel like you've realized, the hope that you had when you were a young child or a teenager is shattered because it was based on illusion. We know that as Buddhists, but we base our practice in reality, and that's why we're able to really understand and really be able to gain energy and approach enlightenment and have a meaningful life. So therefore, what is a lay leader? And now there are many practices and traditions of lay leadership in Nichiren Buddhism, but this is specifically Enkyoji Network that I'm speaking about, and this is our lay leadership program, which I hope so many people will join. However, we are developing a process, and that's because we want people to be ready. We want people to know, especially if they want to be a leader, what is entailed in that. And that it's not just for one's ego. You have to be able to benefit other people. You have to really, really want to grow and spread Buddhism, and especially change people's lives, because the Dharma is the medicine that all beings need, whether they know it or not. And once they get a taste of it, it changes their life. So therefore, a leader is an individual Sangha member who has been inspired to take their practice to the next level, or understanding, and teaching either as a lay person or as a path to becoming a priest. So we in Enkyoji Network have so many different levels, and the important thing is we're here to facilitate your practice, that you grow in your practice. And one thing we should know, the vehicle of the Lotus Sutra has all beings in the same vehicle, that it doesn't just necessarily mean clergy. So a lot of times people say, I'd like to become a priest. However, there's a lot of advantages in being a lay leader, or as a lay person, or as a priest. There's just many different ways of facilitating the Dharma, and they're all essential to our practice. The title of leader is very important. It is that one leads, serves, and supports members in a direct and respectful way. It also means to be a protector of the membership, temple, and support the head priest in accomplishing our mission given by the Eternal Buddha in the Lotus Sutra and our founder Nichiren Shonin. Once again, it's supporting each other. In our practice of organic Buddhism, we grow because of our surroundings. We grow because of our practice. We grow because of our vicinity to the Lotus Sutra. We grow because of our practice. So therefore, it's very important that we understand the idea and concept of Itai Doshin, one, many bodies. We're all very different. However, we're of one mind. And that one mind is our priority. That is our mind of spreading the Lotus Sutra and upholding the Lotus Sutra, such as in the major precept of the Lotus Sutra that we call the Diamond Chalice precept. That is the most essential precept. That is upholding the Lotus Sutra with all one's might, with all one's heart. There is a serious decision that needs to be made directly to a priest leader in a request for this honor. Up front, this takes a lot of dedication and humility to attempt. What does that mean? Well, becoming a leader, we have to really realize that why we practice Buddhism is not simply for ourselves. And sometimes that comes to a shock to people, because originally people come to Buddhism because they want to better themselves, they want to improve themselves. But as we know in the Lotus Sutra, there's nothing independent of other things. We are all interdependent, we are all connected. So therefore, we learn humility and dedication. Those are two very essential things. You think you may have it, but when put to the test, like Nichiren Shonin, do we give up our faith like some of his disciples did? Or do we, even at the cost of our life, stick to our mission to change this world and to benefit this world? Before becoming a lay leader, there is a minimum of 6 months training period, followed by a review of the novice with the mentor. So we have a mentor system. So there are lay leaders that have been lay leaders for a long time, not necessarily mentored by a priest. However, a priest is always involved, especially within our lineage, because we always connect ourselves to our home temple in Enkyoji Temple in Saga, Japan, and ultimately to our home temple, a head temple in Mount Minobu in Yamanashi Prefecture. This is simply to evaluate the initiative to continue the path of a lay leader, as well as understanding what is required and expected from each lay leader, and to officially recognize them as a lay leader. So a lot of times what people think a lay leader is may not quite be the actual reality. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes, a lot of things that are not necessarily seen by others, and that's why our hearts and minds have to be in it, because if you're looking for praise, if you're looking for people saying good job, that's not enough to keep you going, and actually, to be honest, you probably won't get satisfied with that request or that desire, because in all actuality, we are inspired, we are nourished by the Dharma. And actually, if you are in anything for the simple desire of getting being recognized, or to gain some status, you will be sorely disappointed in life. The lay members of Buddhism are the same as during Shakyamuni Buddha's time, in that they practice the Buddha Dharma in their daily lives as householders, and it is believed in Nichiren Shu that Buddhism that they can progress in the role in the Sangha as students of Buddhism according to their faith. Dedication to practice and mission. Those are our three most important things. Faith, dedication to practice, and mission. Because ultimately, in Buddhism, that's the major part that distinguishes Buddhism from other faiths where the other is in control. The other is the other power. We gain this power from our Buddha nature that is developed and nourished through chanting the Daimoku, through deepening our faith, and of course through accomplishing our mission. In all traditions of Buddhism, the lay persons are considered deeply important in that they give material support to temples, and by their daily work provide the economic foundation for the teaching and practice of Buddhism to continue. They also participate in such activities as festivals, ceremonies, and pilgrimage. The office of lay leader is most attributed to deeply devout lay supporters of Nichiren Shonin that protected and risked their lives for his message. Now, when I think about and this is what we established the concept of lay leaders on, the people who guarded. Now, if you look at Nichiren Shonin, he has the most letters, the most doctrine, the most recorded written material than many of the Buddhist teachers and founders of the different traditions, because his practitioners, his supporters, his lay leaders protected them, distributed them, read them, taught them, shared them. And with that concept, that is our concept of the lay leader here at Enkyoji Network. As the burden of ministry grew for our founder Nichiren Shonin, these elders, in addition to prayer, study, learning, and teaching, were also had taken on large workloads to serve the members of the vast Sangha and to handle the administrative functions of Nichiren Shu. As a solution, Nichiren Shonin appointed these lay leaders to distribute and read publicly his teachings so that they could reach a vast audience, as well as leading them to the practice of the way where there are no priests to instruct them. At Choizen Kyoji and Kyoji Network and Temple, there are a few of these leaders that have accepted this responsibility and privilege, who assist the priest in the day-to-day functions of the temple administration and activity. Qualification for lay leaders include integrity, generosity, soberness, a clear understanding of the Lotus Sutra, a well-ordered home, and a good reputation in both the temple and outside the temple. Now, this is part one of basically giving you an overview of what the lay leadership program is that we are developing and have been developing for a while. Now, our purpose of this is that we wish to grow leaders to spread Buddhism, as it said, to places where there are no ministers, there are no priests, and to eventually there are two paths, of course, people remaining as laity, and also those people wishing to see and get a taste of the becoming a minister, perhaps, or a priest. So therefore, it's a great experience, but not only a great experience, it's a life-changing experience, because taking responsibility for the Dharma and growing your faith and mission, it changes your life. So therefore, I wanted to read this information to you, which will be posted on our website, and you'll be able to see the process. So wherever you are in the United States or the world, we're here to support you to grow Buddhism in your home, in your community. And this is the way that Buddhism has always grown, and this is the way that Buddhism has always been propagated. I hope all of you will think about this, take this seriously, and support your lay leaders if you're not ready to be one yourself. But even if you are just a lay member of the Sangha, the Bodhisattvas from underground are all leaders. They are all given the same mission. So whether you stay after temple or help them minister or donate funds or support through ofuse giving to our mission, all of this is our responsibility as supporters and practitioners and students of our great founder, Shakyamuni Buddha and Nichiren Shonin. So therefore, once again, I hope you're all doing really well. This is part 1. Next week we'll get into some of the important concepts of a lay leader. This is important because the concepts may seem very simple, but in actuality, when you put not only your practice, take it out of the box of yourself and put it into the realm of others, it changes. And the reason why is because others always challenge you. And also, we are always being challenged by everything in our minds and in our practice. So therefore, it's very important that we have a very firm foundation in faith, we have a firm dedication, and that we also have a very clear and firm mission. So therefore, I thank all of you who have taken on the path of becoming a lay leader. I hope and support all of you who have taken on the path to becoming a shami or the priest. Very happy in all of our traditions of Nichiren Shu, all our different temples, and also of all of our lay members, of our Sangha members who in and of themselves are the reason why we can support this mission and support this message of the Buddha. So once again, I really appreciate all of you supporting Enkyoji Network, and I know we're growing. We need to be excited about it. We need to talk about it. We need to share it. But most of all, we need to live it. And when you live it, people will recognize. And sometimes that is the best way to share the Dharma, is through a smile, not necessarily expounding some philosophical or religious doctrine or dogma to people, but living it. And that's where true Buddhism is found. That's where organic Buddhism is found. And that's where the lotus flower of our nature grows. So therefore, I would like to thank all of you again, and I hope you guys are having a great week. The weekend's coming up. I hope all of you are supporting your temples and going every day, if possible. I hope all of you are studying your Lotus Sutras, talking to your leaders, talking to your priests, supporting your temples, making sure that the Dharma, the light of the Dharma, continues to burn brightly. So thank you very much. I look forward to next week we'll do part 2 of the introduction to the lay leader practice and study. Thank you.